Hey, hi. Thanks again for tuning into Web3 Wisdom Podcast powered by bitsCrunch. And today we have a lovely guest from the US, from the OG project Chainlink, one of my inspirations in the space, Chainlink, and he is none other than Sam Friedman, who is a principal solutions architect by title, but he does a lot more than the title. We'll jump into that in a while. And glad to have you here, Sam. How are you? How is things?
I'm great. I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me, VJ.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Sam. So, I mean, we have met a couple of times, right? We have met once in New York, once in Texas at Consensus during the beer market. How is the mood now in the bull? I wouldn't say bull, but how is the market now? How is the mood in the market now?
I think it's definitely up. I know I check CoinGecko more than I used to a few months ago, and I was
That
just
tells
in
that tells us.
yeah, that helps.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I was at ETH Denver a few weeks ago, maybe a month
Uh-huh.
ago, and the mood there
Uh-huh.
was terrific. So yeah, I think
Perfect.
people are happy, hopeful.
Yes, yes. You summarized it in just a couple of words. I check my CoinGecko quite often, right? That's the mood in the market. That's the same case with everyone. Same with me. Switching between CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, and a couple of other data protocols. So glad to have you here. Maybe you can share a bit about you, who you are, what's your background, and your day-to-day routine at Chainlink.
Yeah, sure. I've been in IT almost my entire career, and in Web3 as a DGen in various ways, and as a miner since 2015. And then I joined Chainlink Labs a little over 2 years ago, only slightly more than 2 years ago, as a solutions architect,
Uh-huh.
which means I primarily work with Solidity developers and help them understand the capabilities, interfaces, business value proposition of Chainlink products.
Mhm,
And then I joined the build team or the build program.
mhm,
And we work with startups or established companies as well. And my
mhm.
role on the build team is the technical lead. So I do a little bit of tech review or due diligence before projects join.
Mhm.
And once they're in the program, I help onboard them. I make sure they get all the services we promise. And then, like everyone else in this space, I do a few other things as well.
Cool. So how is it switching between two roles? I mean, one as principal solutions architect on one side and being a technical lead of a build program. I mean, build has made a lot of news, noise, and a lot of great things in the space. Maybe you can describe how easy or how tough it is to switch both hats.
Good question. So at different times, I've been able to focus more than others, but
Mhm.
really my role within the build project or build program is very aligned with my title and my responsibilities as a solutions architect.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I'm working directly with the teams in the
Mhm.
program, working directly with their developers, and
Mhm.
making sure they understand the technical aspects of integrating Chainlink
Mhm.
products and services.
Great. I mean, talking about build, I should definitely mention this. So, bitsCrunch is obviously one of the OGs of the build program from Chainlink.
Yeah, you joined before it
And
was called Build, right? The
yes,
label came a little
yes,
later, if I recall.
yes, exactly. So we joined, and then came the label. So we were one of the OGs of the build
Yep.
program, and
Yep.
I must admit that the value add from the Chainlink team, from guys like you, other devs, other marketing experts, and even we had been invited for dinner with Sergey a few times, once in Paris and once in other events. So hats off to the team. You guys have been crushing a lot. Maybe for those who are listening and not sure about what build is, I mean, everybody knows Chainlink, but what is build and what do you do in this build program?
Sure. So I remember the dinner with Sergey, by the way. That was in Austin. That was with all the build projects that attended
Mhm.
consensus,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Um, so build is a community and ecosystem growth program for Web3
Mhm.
projects. Chainlink provides technical and non-technical services to help these projects accelerate their growth. Technical services would include things like I described in my role as working with developers, helping them understand how Chainlink can help them solve different types of problems, and walking them through design patterns, guidelines, best practices. There's some enhanced services as well. Build projects get early access to Chainlink products and functions, sometimes giving them a competitive edge, or sometimes giving Chainlink an opportunity to iterate on ideas with real power users in the space and improve our products and make sure we have the right product market fit. And they also get, that's probably a good summary of the technical benefits. The non-technical benefits would include things like marketing support, ecosystem growth support, access to service partners and pre-negotiated discounts. So for the marketing, we will announce things together like integrations or key milestones in a project's development, like they go to mainnet or they're running a testnet program or something. And ecosystem growth mostly involves things like introductions to other players in the space. It might be in the greater Web3 space that are working with Chainlink Labs where we have relationships, but it's also the build ecosystem. So when you joined, maybe there were 2 or 3 projects. Right now we have close to 100 projects, and build teams are working together in various different ways. Sometimes it's technical. One project might have a chain abstraction solution or some sort of a technical solution that another project can benefit from, or it might be non-technical. So projects might do Twitter spaces together, X spaces together, real life events, things like that. Other things we do in ecosystem growth include participation in our hackathons. So if a project wants to attract developers, we have a way to do that. We run very big hackathons every year. And the other benefit is service partners. So a lot of people a lot of teams in Web3 use the same types of services. And we've partnered with the service providers, and they've offered pre-negotiated discounts for things like RPC services, cloud compute credits, security audits, and then more run-of-the-mill things like maybe GitHub accounts or Salesforce accounts, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, talking about various add-ons or various benefits by being part of Chainlink BUILD program. I mean, I can definitely vouch for the program. Being one of the OGs in this program, we have derived a lot of value, right? I mean, we have got a number of visibility through tweets directly from Chainlink main handle, which is being followed by several thousands of millions of users, right, in this space.
Millions.
Yeah, millions, exactly. And then I have probably nudged you more than anyone else in the Chainlink team for intros, making intros outside the Chainlink build program, or be it inside the build program. I have been kind enough to do that. So for anyone, for any founder who is building in this space, who is working on some amazing things, how can someone get into this build program? Is there an application? Is there a process? Could you please walk us through that so that people are aware of build in detail, and then they get a chance to apply and be a part of the program in the future?
Yeah. So if you've already integrated a Chainlink product and you're talking to, you have a contact at Chainlink Labs, you can simply ask for more information about build. But there is a website. Build has its own website or page within Chainlink's website, and there's a form, a type form where users can just enter in their information, and then we'll review it and get back to the team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, founders looking into build program, looking into the Chainlink ecosystem, definitely worth applying, worth exploring, and you can definitely follow the page dedicated to build program on Chainlink website. So moving on to the next topic. Chainlink is all about sort of established name and building trust and security, right? So coming to the security part, how does Chainlink ensure the security in its decentralized and cross-chain infrastructure? Right. I mean, you're not an oracle for a specific set of use case, right? You go beyond, and you have partnerships with real world Web2 giants, some of the big banks, big institutions. So how do you ensure security, and is security one of the top priorities of Chainlink right from the beginning? Maybe you can walk us
Yeah,
through that.
it's a guiding principle in everything we do, technical and non-technical. So our business processes are secured, employees are trained. Um, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes in terms of security preparedness. And then, of course, every product we build or every piece of infrastructure we build is using security as a guiding principle.
Mhm.
When it comes to cross chain specifically, we didn't necessarily have to do a lot of new stuff for security. We'd already built a secure architecture to power other Chainlink oracles like price feeds, automation functions, proof of reserve, VRF, etc. Um,
Mhm.
and CCIP runs on top of that same infrastructure. So there,
Mhm.
security-wise, there are no new trust assumptions with cross-chain interoperability. It's the same
Mhm.
architecture, but there are some enhancements or secondary
Mhm.
validation layers. So um, I guess a good way to explain it would be um, the the nodes that run cross chain that pass cross chain messages, the handle
Mhm.
cross chain messages are not owned or operated by Chainlink Labs. These are independent node operators, and the decentralized Oracle networks that participate in CCIP
Mhm.
are independent of each other. There's more than one network, and some of those networks act as a level of secondary validation. So it's not enough for one decentralized Oracle network to complete a job, but a second decentralized Oracle network needs to complete the same job as a secondary validation layer. And that
Mhm.
second network will have a completely different set of node operators,
Mhm.
and it will run software that's a completely different architecture, uses different programming languages, uses different
Mhm.
software libraries, and will even use a different consensus mechanism. And this
Mhm.
ensures that there's no risk of a supply chain attack
Mhm.
because they're not integrated. And
Mhm.
there's no risk of shared vulnerability because it's a completely
Mhm.
different tech stack.
Okay, okay. So that's why you Chainlink is one of the resilient projects in the space, right? I mean, always had security on top of whatever you build. So that's why you were able to strike amazing partnerships in the space, right? So I, being a founder in the space, I obviously know a lot of partnerships and great work Chainlink has done in the recent past. But could you please share what are the major highlights since the start of the year, or probably closer to the last year? What Chainlink has accomplished recently? Maybe some big names, big partnerships that you have tied up.
Sure. So, well, maybe I'll take a product focused approach. So at
Mhm.
SmartCon, we went live or announced various products, Chainlink
Mhm.
Functions, which was announced in Denver the year prior, but became GA in
Mhm.
at SmartCon just this past October.
Mhm.
Also, data streams, which
Mhm.
is our real time or low latency oracle for market data or other data. Um,
Mhm.
that unlocks use cases with derivatives protocols primarily, but other use cases as well.
Mhm.
And then CCIP was announced last year at ETHCC in Paris,
Mhm.
um, uh, but is now has achieved multiple development milestones in the last few months and this year, integrating more chains, adding new features, and onboarding lots of users, both Web3 native and
Mhm.
um, you've probably seen some of the press releases. I guess you're referring to
Mhm.
in with traditional institutions, financial institutions like
Mhm.
Swift or DTCC or ANZ Bank.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, Swift partnership was definitely coming. I mean, I as a founder, I was expecting, but that was a pleasant surprise for a lot of newcomers in the space, and ANZ Bank again, one of the big names in the banking in the finance industry. So keep crushing, keep going. I mean, I'll obviously be always appreciative about whatever Chainlink does. As a fan, as a fellow founder in this space, I have huge respect towards the entire team, not just Sergey or the management, but the entire team is all about gems in the space.
Well, the feeling is mutual. You've been a great partner. You're an excellent reference example of a project that uses our tech in the right way, right? You're in your decentralized vision. Um, you crowdsource labor, right? Users are incentivized to label different entities, and you reward those entities. And you use Chainlink VRF, or verifiable randomness, to
Yes.
reward those users in a fair way, which is amazing. A perfect example of how to use our products.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we wanted to launch a token, we always wanted to bring utility rather than talking about utility on paper and then figuring out what to do after launching the token. No, not the case with us. We wanted to build the product, get customers. We are now used by teams like TapRadar, Unstoppable Domains, and a lot of other customers in this space. And we built the community ground up. We built tech, we built the community, and that's when we wanted to launch the token. So, touchwood, things have gone well so far. We are propelling our way forward with the help of so many amazing teams like Chainlink, Polygon, Coinbase Ventures, being an investor. So yeah, can't complain. Happy founder, happy team. We are doing our job well, and obviously kudos to Chainlink team as well, because whenever we reach out to support for Chainlink VRF or any other tech stack, they have always been there to guide us, guide the team, and the response time is usually very quick. I mean, for a company at the stature of Chainlink, people might think that you might respond slowly, but not the case. I usually get response within 24 to 48 hours in most cases. Right, someone from the group will always respond. So kudos to that work culture. You guys have been crushing it, even though being among one of the top 30, top 50 projects in this space, but continuously pushing forward is a standalone feature that I really like about Chainlink team.
Thank you. On the response time, I have a tip for everyone who uses Telegram. If you're in a
Yes,
group chat, tag the person you're reaching out to so they get an alert.
yes, yes.
Otherwise, I think we all know in this space, Telegram is a
Yeah,
zoo. Yeah.
yep. Cool. So we have discussed what has been accomplished in the recent past with likes of Swift, ANZ, and so on. So, what next? What we can expect by end of 2024 or maybe 2025? I know Chainlink has been consistently delivering, but is there something that we can expect as a pleasant surprise in the coming near future?
Consumer interface for Chainlink CCIP. It's an excellent reference example of what CCIP can do, and it has great potential. And really highlights the work that other integrators have done, other Chainlink integrators have done. I think you should expect more chains and Chainlink integrating with more chains, and the pace at which we integrate chains to increase.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, that's probably the biggest thing. More features. You should not expect us to take any security shortcuts.
Mm-hmm. Good. And your appearances in any major events coming up? I mean, token is coming up.
All,
I very strongly
yeah, we
believe.
had it. Yeah, sorry, we had a team in Hong Kong.
Ah, okay.
Was it
That's great.
this week or last week? And we'll have a
Oh,
team in Dubai for Token 2049 next week.
awesome. Awesome.
And we'll be at Consensus again in Austin.
Okay.
And
Okay.
SmartCon was already announced for Hong Kong in October.
Ah, yes, this time you're flying HK, Hong Kong, right? I mean,
Yeah,
previously 2 years back it was in US, it was in New York, and then
yeah,
it was in Europe, Barcelona last
that's
year,
right.
and flying to Asia this time. Good, cool. Chainlink
Yeah,
is evolving.
yeah. I'm
And
sure you'll see us at more events this summer as well. Probably ETHCC in Brussels, and I don't remember the full list, but we're out there. We're around.
good. So maybe one little funky question. I mean, whenever people talk about Chainlink, they always talk about marines, right? Chainlink marines they call on Twitter, crypto Twitter. Any a couple of words regarding marines out there? Any shout outs?
Um, I'm very grateful they're there.
Awesome. Yep.
Um, it's an amazing community, and I'm afraid to say too much because it's a
Yes. I totally get that. I mean, it's just more of a funky nature to the
yeah,
term, and obviously, one of the Chainlink has one of the strongest communities, and when it comes to decentralized projects, having a strong ethos, having a strong community, is obviously gonna propel any project forward. And Chainlink has done really remarkably well. You guys are one of the inspirations for projects like bitsCrunch and other newbies in the market. So yeah, keep
yeah,
crushing, keep looking
I,
forward to learn more from
yeah.
Chainlink
I
team.
have to say, arguably, there's nothing more important than community. We're very grateful for what we have.
Yep, absolutely. You totally crushed it. So yeah, now moving on to the final segment of the pod. There will be a quick, a couple of few questions, rapid fire questions that I always used to ask my dear guests. So we have had the fortune of having some of the best guests, great guests in the recent past, from Lazio to Sandy Carter to others, and shooting those questions to you as well. So first one, what is your hobby, or what is your favorite hobby or a physical activity, whatever that is?
Uh, if I'm still at my computer on my phone, I'm playing chess.
Ah, okay, yes, okay, cool,
Yeah. If anyone wants to
good.
play, S Friedman
Yeah.
71
I
on
mean, coming from India, the Vishwanathan Anand is one of the greatest
yeah, yeah.
chess players.
In my office right here, I have a poster of
Oh,
from
oh,
his match with Carlsen for
ah, okay.
the World
Awesome.
Chess
Cool.
Championship in
Yeah.
Sochi in Russia a few years ago. Yeah,
Ah, cool.
Vishy,
Cool.
he's awesome. Um,
Yep.
so I'm
Gee,
not a
cool.
good player, but I enjoy playing. If I'm not in front of my computer or my phone, I'm playing squash.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Gosh, was is quite intense if you play it right, right? If you play with the right people,
Oh, it's more
it is.
intense if you play it wrong. If you play it wrong, you're running into walls, and that's pretty intense.
That's true. That's true. You're not gonna break your nose, right? If you're doing it badly. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, next one, who is your biggest inspiration? I mean, outside the Web 2 space, Web 3 space would be better, but yeah, it's up to you.
Oh, there's so many.
Okay. If you could
But
pick a couple,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
one.
Um,
Mhm.
I'm a big music lover, I guess, like a lot of people. I listen to a lot
Uh-huh.
of Bob Dylan. I'm a big
Okay.
Joni Mitchell fan, and her
Okay.
music was she boycotted Spotify for a couple of years,
Ah,
and just a few weeks ago,
okay.
her music came back to Spotify. So I'm happy about that.
Okay. Good.
Yeah,
Good.
they're
Good. Good.
incredible artists. They're inspiring. If I'm on the
That's
squash court, then I'm thinking of my squash heroes while I play, pretending I'm Ollie Farag or Paul Cole.
good. Good. Great names. Cool. And next one, which is your favorite city and why?
Um, I don't know if I have one favorite city. Maybe the
Mhm.
city that I dream of going to that I haven't been yet might be my favorite city. So I've been wanting
Okay.
to go to Lisbon or just travel in Portugal. I haven't been yet, but I'm imagining it
Okay.
might be my favorite city.
Okay. Okay.
I've
Cool.
eaten really well in Italy, and I'm watching a TV show about Italy now. So
Ah.
any city in Italy that has restaurants is my favorite city.
Italian restaurants are the best. I mean, I
Yeah.
live in Munich, which is right at the border of Italy. I mean, obviously, it's still some kilometers from here, but Italian pizzas, Italian pastas are the best, arguably the best. Right.
I was at ETH Milan last year after SmartCon
Yeah.
in Barcelona, and I ate very well.
Milan Cathedral is one of the best architectural marvels in the world right now. Right. Cool. So I won't keep you long. Just one last question. So
Okay.
if not Web3, what would have been your choice of career? What would you be doing right now?
The serious answer is I've always been in IT.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So it would be something interesting there.
Okay.
But if it wasn't that, if it was pure fantasy, I would be a chocolatier or a
Oh,
connoisseur of wine mustards.
oh, wow. Okay.
Maybe I would
That's
open a store for
uh-huh.
gourmet mustard and fine chocolate.
Oh, okay. Okay. Totally interesting answer. I haven't heard such an answer from some of my previous guests. Good, good. Kudos to speaking out and being candid. And thanks again, Sam, for
Uh,
being such a lovely guest and taking your time to be a part of Web3 Wisdom Podcast. And any final thoughts for those who are listening in?
um, uh, if you're part of a community in Web3, thank you. You're doing a really, really important job, arguably the
Yep.
most important job. Maybe that's my final thought. And if you're building in the space, don't take security shortcuts. Talk to professionals in the space, whether it's security auditors or someone else. It's not just system security or code security, it's also business process security, your hiring practices. Talk to experts, get advice, pay an
Yep.
expert.
Absolutely. No shortcuts.
Yeah,
That's the bottom line.
yeah.
Great. Thanks again, Sam. Take care and have a great weekend. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.